To show that in half an hour you can create a complete web application with Rails. So if everything goes well, maybe I didn't prepare anything, just Peter asked me to present something, so it will be a real live test. So what's Ruby on Rails? Ruby on Rails is a web application framework developed in Ruby, and most of the things that you have in Rails, that everything is forged for you in the framework, and everything is already there by convention. So what I will show you now is how to create an application. I will not explain the framework directly. I will just create an application and show you the different steps and the different part of the application. The web framework have some tools that help you to generate the application, and I will use it to do so. So I'm here. I will go to the Mac desktop and I will create their application. So I used the Rails script to generate the application. I launched the
text editor I use here on the Macintosh with different Rails editor, and this editor is called TextMate, and I forget to okay, and you see now the base structuration of the application that have been generated for you by the script. The app folder will contain all the application, components for advanced, so I will not talk about it. The config have the database description and some other things I will show you later. You can add library. You have the public folder that will contain the root of your application, and you'll have there the script, all the script used to generate the application, all the helpers you will have to find to help you build this application. You get the test folder, and each time I will create a model, each time I will create a controller for the MVC framework, it will generate for you a test unit and a functional unit. So you just have to go in this file to add your tests and to run them to have a complete framework. So it's going to work. So now just create the Barcamp root folder, and you see that by default Rails attend that you have a Barcamp _ development database under MySQL, Barcamp test, Barcamp production. So what I will do now is just go just an interface on the Mac extend for MySQL, and I will create the database. As you can see, you have directly 3 databases. So you can, when you build an application, you often have your development environment, and you often have a production environment that can be completely different. So the frameworks already think to that. So they prepare for you 3 databases: one for the development, one for the testing, and one for the production. So you can have a MySQL database in development, and a Postgres MySQL or MS Oracle database on production, doesn't matter. So I will just run now the first script. I will copy just a small script.
that I have generated the application, I will run the framework has a built-in web server, and I will launch it to see what we have now that we have generated this empty framework. So you see that I have to go take the browser, and I have to go to the localhost there, and you arrive directly. You see that the web server is working, but you arrive on the default index page. So as I don't need it, I will remove it. Okay. If I go there now, I will have an error because there is nothing in the framework for the moment. So maybe the best thing to see something is to create a small block application. Everybody knows what's a block as what's a content. So I'm in the command line, and now I will generate the model. So I say maybe a blog as a blog model. So I will just generate the model blog. Takes some time. There is not very. So what can you see is that it has generated for me the blog model, but also the test for the blog, and a fixture and a migration file. When you are working in Ruby on Rails, you don't have to for creating the database, you don't have to write SQL. You just have to write Ruby commands. And if you want to write JavaScript, you just have to write Ruby commands to write JavaScript. That's one of the main goals of a framework, is always to stay in the same language, to not have to shift from one language to another. So I go back to the editor, and you see that for my table, it has created for me a function. A function for the migration up create table, and for migration down for dropping the table. Why do we use that? It's not very useful for the beginning of an application, but if you imagine that you have maybe 30 tables, and you had fields, you rename fields and things like that, and you have living data in your database, you don't want to drop all data to add a new field and to test it afterwards. This kind of migration script and can help you to modify living data without having to dampen the data, and you have also a versioning of the different migration. So you can always come back later in the application. So for the moment, I will create a different field. So this one. I will create a title. I will leave it like that. I'll create a body, and I will change the type of text. And for the moment, for beginning, it will be just enough to see how it works. Now that I have filled the migration script, I will run the migration. And you can run a migration simultaneously on different servers, on your development server, on your production server. And if you have 10 production servers, you will run the migration on all servers directly, just with this command. Now that I have a message with the so you can see that it has created the table. So if I go back and I refresh the development, you see two tables, one with the bug
the block tables, and you see that it uses plurals for the tables and singular for the model. That's one of the conventions of Rails, and it already had for you the ID in the field. So that's one of the conventions also of Rails. And what you see also, it's a schema info table, and what you can see that you have version 1. That means that you have run one migration file. So if you have 20 migration files, you will have 20 if you have run the migration successfully on the table. And you can go back on any version of your database, because you can add in the command, you can add a version number here. Say, okay, I run a migration. Sorry, for example, I don't have many. You can say, okay, go back to migration 2, and if you have more than version number than 2 migration, it will roll every self down on all the files to retrieve your database at this version. So when you use Rails with subversion, that's the default for versioning the files, you can always have a database corresponding to your code. That's one of the main reasons for that.
Rails does not the same for any coding files.
Sorry?
Rails does not, if you go back to
Yes?
it does not the same thing. It's only from the database, not from the coding files.
Just for the database, yes. But if you roll back with SVN to a certain version, you get the corresponding code to your database. So you can synchronize your code with the content of your migration file. So that's not a problem. Because if you roll back 2 months ago and you only have 20 migration files, you can recreate the application with all the database for that particular data.
Okay, if you put out an application on a production server,
Yeah.
and you found a bug afterwards, and you have immediately in the pre-production phase for testing
Yeah.
version 10 plus many versions, do you base the full application on the stream database to recreate it? That's
When you are in production, you already have something running. Okay, so you already have your application is running at
a specific version of your database. If you add 2 or 3 migration and something fails and you want to go back, you just have to specify. You just have to roll back on SVN and to run the migration for that specific time, and it will automatically make the migration done for the 3 additional.
There's no guarantee that your database and your code on subversion and
No.
will always be in sync. That's what I mean.
No. You don't have any guarantee of that. Yes. You just have to be careful of that, but I think that's already good for many things. So now that I have generated the model, I will generate a view to interact with this data. So I will just scaffold is a default term to generate a basic view for a model. So what we can see is that it has created for you a block controller, a test for the block controller, a block helper, and some view, and the CSS, the default CSS. So if I go back now to the application, sorry.
it will show you directly the code, and you can create let's create for you standard layout, a sample form for editing and modifying the data, and it's already functional. So you have a warning message. You have you can see. So you have by default directly a sample of a working application. Now, if I go back there, I can add some additional information. You want to be sure that if I empty my tuple, it didn't validate the code. So what we can do is go back to the code. I will open the model of the blog, and you see the model is quite empty. And all the fields of the database are directly mapped for you. You don't have to create some getter or some, that's already done for you by the framework. So what I can do now is just add some additional information about the model. For example, about the validation. I want that validate presence of. I want to be sure that title and body, the only two fields I have on my model for the moment, are necessary to validate the. So I just do that. If I go back there, sorry. If I try to validate it again, I directly have a warning. That's directly joined for you by the framework, and you can customize it after all. But you can customize the message, and by default you already have something working. So, now if I can, well, it's if you want to edit the style sheet, but if you are a web developer, you know that you can directly. My browser is a bit too high for that. You can look at the class HTML body, and you can personalize it directly. You modify the code directly in the scaffold here. For example, I want that the body has a different color. You just have to modify it there. You see the color directly, and if the code is good to you, just copy it to the big scaffold. If I refresh, I have my new style. So that's the way we develop in Rails. Each time we develop a part of the application, we modify the style sheet, we modify the different elements for that part. If we go further, it's a framework that's creates for you some tests. We can take a look at what we have. And you see, by default, they just create an empty test. That's always true. And for the functional, they already create for you all the basic tests for the scaffold. So you don't have to create for you these tests. And what does this test do? It will check that every page you have created did not render an error. So it will simulate a standard HTML get. It will verify that you have 200, the answer 200, so that you have a page, and it will maybe look at the template you use for rendering the page. And you can add many other features afterwards, but by default, all these tests are there. And if I go to the console and I just run rake, it will run all tests for me. And for the moment, I hope that all the tests passed. Okay, so I just have already some error, but by default you have some tests directly there to help you to build the application. Okay, let's add one more things. Is I will add some commands to the blog. So and I will say that it's a new model and some a blog have some content, and this content have some comments. So it's just a small relation. So I will generate one more model. Okay. I will directly go there. You see, it has created for me a second migration file. We have a name. You can limit the string of the name, for example, and we will add message. Test graph. I will write the integration. Sorry, launch the test. Okay, that's quite detailed. Now I will specify the relation between the two models in the model. So I can say that the blog, that's already the blog, it's more content. We can say that it has many comments. And in comments, we can say that the comment belongs to a blog. Well, it's more a blog entry, but okay. So if I do this, I directly create the links between the comment and the blogs. Just to show it directly, I will launch the console. It's a way to directly interrogate your application. So now that I'm in the console, I can directly use any object described there. I create new blog title. That's very original, but you see the blog has been created. You can find that's you have many where you can find all blog or all blog entry. You have for a Ruby way of creating SQL data. So for each of these instruction I wrote, you have a generated SQL query that is generated for Rails, by Rails for you. I will just show you that. So for the last instruction,
you see that my command here, blog create, just insert as insert a new content in the database. My query blog find all, just make a select for all blog. And now that I've created a relation, I can create I can create a command like I can find the first blog and add a new command for it. Okay, and you see here, nice arrow when you do it. Okay, I will create the into steps. It's a bit more. Because it needs. Means in the error it says that it needs blocks to validate the creation. So I can just add So I just add the blog ID and I just say give me the first blog, and you create the command, and if I go to if I find the first blog, if I look at the commands, normally,
there's coffee break now. Just finish whatever you want.
Normally, it shows the command created. I just have to look at it. But you have a complete Ruby way to approach your queries, to create your database, to create everything from JavaScript to migration to processing. So this framework is a bit amazing, and you can